What's up, forehead? How you doing today? Fun fact, you're watching a YouTube video. Funner fact, I don't know what I'm doing. And obviously, from the title and the thumbnail of the video, we're gonna be doing the sprockets and the chain. Pretty badass looking too, aren't they? Yeah, so you know what's in this box, but I'm gonna show you anyway. We got a Vortex rear sprocket, a Vortex front sprocket, EK chain. I also got myself a little chain breaker and riveter tool. You can tell I've messed that up a couple times. I'm gonna put a link for everything that's here down in the description in case you guys want to do the same thing with your bike. Just keep in mind that all of this stuff is specific to this bike. You're gonna have to check whether it's compatible with your bike. If you have a bike and you're watching, if you don't have a bike, that's okay, you can still enjoy. The way we're gonna start this is the same way I start every other project. I gotta lift the back tire up and take the wheel off. So let's go do that. So luckily I've taken this wheel off before. Cotter pin, nut, and you just kind of beat it out, pull everything off. So enjoy that in fast speed, I guess. Fair warning, this is not the orthodox way of doing this, but it works. I know because I've done it. Just so we're aware, I'm only doing it like this because I don't have the right size wrench and I know that it will work. The size wrenches I have are one size too big and one size too small, go figure. Take your axle nut, you make sure that it's a couple threads on there so you can beat it like Chris Brown did. There goes all my parts. So the signs you're looking for in a bad sprocket are these waves. Those are not good. You don't want these waves happening, and you don't want missing teeth. Like, look how bad this one is right here. Look how bad that is. But those are signs of a bad sprocket, and that's why mine is getting replaced. And then all we're gonna do is take these nuts off. They look like they're about a 14, and it's a 14. Now, I don't care too much about this sprocket, but what I do care about is this hub piece. I don't want to gall that up. These nuts are going to be pretty tight, so I would recommend that you keep the sprocket and the hub in the wheel, and then you can hold the tire down while you do this, because they are pretty tight. So now that I got these nuts off, I'm expecting this to be on there a little bit from corrosion, but I guess not. Just comes right off. That's heavier than the new one too. I should mention that I'm doing a 525 to 520 conversion. You need to make sure you buy the right size chain, the right size front sprocket, and rear sprocket. If you buy one thing that's a 525 and the rest is 520, no good. There are benefits to going with a 520 compared to a 525, which is just reduced unsprung weight, and some bikes will see maybe a horsepower gain, a 1 horsepower gain. Not really all that crazy, but all this stuff was available in 520 and I figured why not. Wow, that looks sick. So now comes just the new sprocket. Super simple. Just gonna do everything we just did in reverse, put the new stuff on. By the way, yes, we are going with blue on this. I know I have a red bike at the moment, but we're going blue with this one. I figured Gixxers are known for blue. This one already has a blue gas cap, so we're going blue. So now these nuts right here, they have a torque spec on them. We got a 29 foot-pound max. You know what that means? These are aluminum. They say 29 foot-pound max. I'm gonna figure out how tight that is and go from there. Now these are not 14s. They are not 15s. Are they 17? They are 17, okay. So I'm just gonna get these snug right now, I'm gonna go grab a torque wrench and see how tight 29 is, because I feel like that's a lot. So for those of you who don't know, the rapist sold this one to me for the low price of $500. $500 and you get one of these spiffy things too. Yeah, 29 feels about right. With these, we're gonna go in a star pattern. So skip one, skip one, skip one, or you can just make a star. Future me, make a star. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We did this one. We're gonna double check it. Now it's always safe practice to go around something a second time if it's in a circle, because different sections of it can be brought down tighter. So after I did the last one, this one might now be loose. So it's always safe to go over 2 times. Look at this. This already looks so much better. Whew. I'm so excited, guys. You have no idea. So if I'm being honest, I knew this part was gonna be hard. Front sprocket is back behind this. So you gotta take shift linkage, this sensor, this cover, and this linkage of some sort out. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I don't think any of these will be too tight, as it is just a plastic cover. And that's just gonna be a speed sensor. I brought a 10mm out for here. Now it's important that you know which way this goes on here. So I would say get a marker and mark like that. This way you know how it goes back on. So you loosen that bolt. It should wiggle on off of there. There it goes. So this bolt right here will sit in this groove right here, and this is what will hold it onto that shaft. Don't forget, I'm also doing this the super hard way by leaving the plastics on. Yeah. Super hard way. Oh, that thing sounds like shit. I don't think I've ever heard a car miss so bad and still go down the damn road. When you're taking out things like this, a smart thing to do is count the threads. There it goes. There it goes. Since I'm in neutral, that'll just spin. So we'll pop this into first. Is that because this is my clutch? Yeah. It's a weird mechanism, but okay. This is weird. I don't like Suzuki's. I'll take my ZX6 back now. Oh, nope. Okay. Got it. Haha. Bitch. Can't get me, dog. I'm too smart. Fuck. Has to be a joke or something. Let's see how much leeway this gives me. Alright, a lot of shit just happened, and I'm gonna try and explain everything the best that I can. This cover goes in like so. This right here was the clutch, which is this right here, and it's got to go all the way back up to the nut. And then the sprocket had this nut and washer on it. This nut and washer were tighter than it was to turn over the engine. So I was loosening. What I was actually doing was just turning the crank. So I had to get an impact, and I got carried away, got the chain off. The master link was one of the clip types. You just pop the clip off, pop it off the studs, and then pull the other side out, or pull one side off like I did, and it just all untangles itself. Using the chain breaker, I had to relearn how to do that. So I'll give you guys a nice rundown real quick. This is the chain breaker, and it's also a riveter. What you do, and just use the riveter, I swear, I promise, just use the riveter. You gotta count each link that's on your old chain and pop it off where it meets on the new chain. You set up the riveter like this. Thick side goes in right. Now this, take the spring, drop it inside, take your riveter, put your riveter through, take the small one, put it on top. Then what you do is you put your link like this in there. It'll line up with this. On the bottom side, when you're punching through, don't put any attachment, any of the anvils or the presses. Here's a press. Don't put something like this on there because that's how I bent mine. You don't want to do that. And then when you screw it all down, it'll go like this. You'll tighten this, get it snug, and then you'll push through the rest of the way with the top one. And it'll push through, and when it pops out is when you know you're good. So now, let's get to the installation. So with this being a 520 conversion, I don't want to mess anything up here. I would assume that Vortex would put their name on the outside, but that could be a stupid guess. I mean, fuck it. I'm just gonna run it with the face out anyway. There's one more piece to the puzzle, and that's this guy. Keeping in mind that this was tight as hell when I took it off, I'm gonna put it on tight as hell. So that's done. Now, we're gonna do the master link over here on this bad boy. Now, master links are pretty simple, and the box has directions. So let's see what comes with this one. This is a rivet, just like, so I put an EK on the 500. So I've done this before. You can now call me a semi-professional. So now that I'm at a little bit better of a permanent spot, we take our master link, make sure it's got the rings on it. Just like that. I feel like I shouldn't have to say this, but EK sends this stuff with their chains. So I'm assuming it's for a reason. Honestly, I have no idea what the fuck is going to work here. I don't do this shit all the time. I know you have to like press it through and then rivet it. Okay guys, now that we have our chain over here around the swing arm and ready, we're gonna use our riveter in here on the inside, and we're gonna use the flat side on the back side. We're gonna get this snug so that it's around where we're gonna wanna rivet, which is gonna be the bottom one, and then we're gonna tighten this one. And this will rivet it. And that needs a lot more of a rivet. Oh yeah. That looks a lot better. That's a much better rivet. Okay. Now I gotta kinda push this one back through. All I'm gonna do is just act as if I'm gonna punch it through, but not actually punch it through. And this doesn't take much. It may look like I'm struggling, but that's because I got a camera right in front of me. Yeah, look at that. Anvil on this side. Now the riveting part, that takes some damn effort. If you've never used a riveting tool before, or at least a chain breaking or chain riveting tool before, this definitely takes some getting used to and some familiarity. But I do know one thing's for sure, you definitely want to see bubbles on the outside. As long as they're not too big, because they can't be too big, otherwise you have weak links. And instead of them being a strong link, it's actually weaker than what it would have been. How does that look? The top one needs more, for sure. Ow, motherfucker! Goes without mentioning, should be careful of splinters. Oh yeah, that's how it should look. Nice and flared out. I'll hit the bottom one now, just to make sure that that one definitely is good. Yeah, baby. All right, the chain is done. Now, I'm gonna go in reverse, process, putting it back together. And I'm gonna time lapse it for you guys. All right, so now it's all done. I did make a few mistakes. I'm not proud of those mistakes, but they happened. Forgot a couple parts when I was putting everything together. I cut the chain too long. I didn't pop enough links off of it, so I had to go get another master link because once I pop this one through, it's not usable again. I'll do that another time because I already showed you what you have to do this. Man, this thing looks so stellar, and I know what you're thinking. Blue on a red bike, but I have a vision for this bike. You're just gonna have to believe me on this. This is gonna look like a completely different bike in about a year. Thanks for watching. I hope I helped with doing a chain and sprockets. If you have any questions, you can just leave them down below in the comment section. If you liked the video, you thought it was helpful, please give it a like. You could also subscribe and hit the bell for more, and you'll get notified when there's more. Sounds like a good thing, right? Hell yeah, I think so too. This is the first of many mods that I plan on doing. It's Chris on a 6. I'll see ya.